Hi.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have about 10 minutes until I get back from the
Okay.
airport, so we'll have a little transition. But I
Okay.
just got back home to Caliston, where
Mm,
I've been teaching,
amazing.
and yeah,
How was your vacation? Or I'm
so
just
busy. Yeah, so
really?
busy. I traveled for 2 months. I met some friends in Thailand, and then I met some friends in the Philippines, and then I had some solo traveling as well. So it's been great, but I'm happy to be home.
Yes, I bet. That sounds really fun. Okay, so we're gonna go through some questions that I have for you, and then we'll just talk about your time as a teacher in Thailand. So the first question that I have is why did you choose CIEE instead of maybe another program to teach abroad?
So I've been looking at teaching abroad for the past 2 years before I did it, and I had seen two of my friends in the past use CIEE, and so I reached out to them, and they gave me, really good reviews about the program, and so that's why I trusted CIEE over a different program.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah, I heard from a friend too. I feel like that's a common way, and it's very
Yes,
reputable because I'm like, if my friends tell me to do something, like I'm down.
yes, like it's,
Um,
and I know if my friends liked it, then I liked it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So another question is, well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, when did you first arrive in Thailand? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was, I think, October 27th of last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I've
so you've
been
been
here
there for a
about
year.
13 months. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's exciting. Cool. So I guess like looking back on this past year, what have you learned like from teaching abroad, and what do you think you've like gained from the experience?
I think I like wrote down a few notes so that I could say all of the important things. But I think the biggest thing I learned just in general was patience. You taught in Thailand too in the past, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
so
did.
like public transportation is awesome, and like I can always get where I need
Hmm.
to go, but it's not always going to go exactly how I
No.
expect it to. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just about everything in Thailand, I think like people are a lot more chill. It's not all the hustle and bustle work mindset in America, which I love, but
Hmm.
things are a little bit slower, like food service, everything. So just being more patient.
Hmm. Totally.
And then with teaching, my teaching skills have definitely improved because my students, their English level was a lot lower than the material I was supposed to teach them. And so, it was a lot of problem solving, and I had different English levels in each class. And so, just trying to figure out how to act out a math term and like get
Yeah.
so creative with someone who doesn't speak English. And I don't speak Thai as well, I don't speak that much Thai where I can explain math terms to them.
Yeah.
So just that gave me of like being able to critical think and like problem solve in a moment's notice when something isn't working in
Hmm.
class. And then just my teaching confidence has definitely gotten higher since being here because I've seen what works and what doesn't work for me.
Hmm. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. I remember when I went into my classroom, my school had me teaching math too, and they're like, "Okay, you're going to teach division." And I was like, "Oh, I actually need to like relearn division and
Yes,
also
no,
figure out
I had
tons."
to relearn division. Yes.
Yeah. So it's challenging, but it's definitely rewarding. Well, I know it was for me, but
Yes,
I guess
totally.
what do you have any like advice that you would give a teacher going into like a situation like that?
Well, it's like the
Or
advice
I
I
guess just
have
teaching
is
abroad in general, but
yeah, just be open minded. I think, back on our other question, what I gained living in Thailand was just such an appreciation for the people I've met, the new world that I've seen, and all the new perspectives I've been able to learn.
hmm.
And so just like having that appreciation of where you are and what you're doing, and don't lose that when something goes wrong, because something will go wrong. Things go wrong in my everyday life in America, just like it goes wrong in Thailand. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, just being open minded and don't lose that, like all the work you put in to do this, and don't get discouraged if something maybe isn't as you expected. Because
Right.
there's a lot of things about Thailand that I didn't expect, but honestly, it's so much better than what I
Yeah.
expected. And I'm so glad that it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah,
And
totally.
so, Yeah, stay positive. Don't overpack because you're going to buy a bunch of clothes here anyway. Thailand fashion is amazing.
Yeah.
And budget from the beginning because I spent like all of my savings the first month because I got too excited. So don't be
Mhm.
like me.
Yes, I agree with that. It's very tempting to buy a bunch of like travel, just to plan a bunch of travel things on the weekends immediately. But yes, don't overpack. That's a good one. And yeah, I guess that leads me to my next question, which I mean, I always tell people before they go teach abroad in Thailand, especially Thailand, just be
Yeah.
flexible. Because, like you said, like things are very slow paced. Everyone's so much more laid back, and it's great. But you have to adapt to that situation,
Yes.
especially coming from the States. It's just so different. So I guess what would be like your most challenging thing about teaching abroad, or what has been your most challenging
I
experience
think
teaching?
I think just it was the most challenging, but also the best part was just you start over. You know, like
Mhm.
I had no, I had a friend who came with me in the beginning, but all we had was each other. I
Mhm.
didn't have people around me that had known me for 10 years. So, like, I had to, show my best impression and make a new community, make new friends. And of
Mhm.
course, you get a little bit lonely, but that also was the best part of being here because I know that I can start over anywhere now.
Mhm.
And I found amazing friendships where I feel like they've known me for years,
Yeah.
even though we just met, 12 months ago.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Right.
so I mean, starting over, it's so scary and intimidating, and you like miss your friends and family, of course, but it's also such a great experience because I met so many new people that I never would have met if I
Mhm.
didn't move here.
Yeah, like just take the leap. I was really scared to
Exactly.
go alone. Yeah, and then I got there and I was like, wait, this isn't as scary as I thought. Like there's so many people doing the same thing as you, that you get to connect with, which is great. Um, yeah. So my next question, um, what do you have any like money saving tips while living abroad?
Um, so I tutored a lot. I tutored probably like 3 to 4 times after school every
Mhm.
week. I did that my second semester, and then I did online tutoring through Preply, and then I did private tutoring through my school. Like parents in the school would
Mhm.
reach out.
Mhm.
Um,
Cool.
and then just like find your cheap food
Yeah.
spots. You don't need to spend a lot of money on foods. Just find the places you like that you can do easily. Um, and yeah, just like keep a weekly tab of how much you're spending because then you can see how far that will go, especially your
Hmm.
first few months on this new paycheck.
Hmm.
Because I definitely was like, oh wow, this is so much cheaper than America. I don't need to worry about my spending. And
Yeah.
that's why I spent all of my savings
Yeah.
really quickly.
Totally, because you want to try everything and everything's so new and
Exactly.
exciting. Yeah, but if you live like a local in Thailand, you can save so much money.
Yes,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, like I ate at the markets every Wednesday,
yeah.
because they have big food markets, and
Hmm.
that was also such good food. Even if it's
It's
cheaper, it doesn't
amazing.
mean it's not amazing. Yeah.
Yes, so good. Oh, I miss that like a lot. Um, what was your housing like when you arrived? Or do you still live in the same
Um,
housing?
so I moved out because my contract ended 2months ago. So I've been without a home for 2months, which has been great and stressful.
Yeah.
Um, but but my housing, I had a private room. It honestly looked really similar to like a dorm room.
Hmm.
And so it's just one room with a bed, and then I didn't have any kitchen, like not even a kitchen sink. So yeah, Kyle, over here. Sorry, I'm about to
No
get
worries.
out of my grab really quick.
No worries.
But yeah, and so my housing, it was super clean, very modern. No like bugs or lizards could get in, which was really important to me because
Yes.
I'm scared of the geckos.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it was so clean, and I had it all by myself, which some people shared. So I was
Hmm.
very lucky to like have my own space.
Hmm. That's great.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
when
get out of
I
the car.
okay,
Give me 1 second.
no worries.
Sorry.
I'll just talk about my housing.
Perfect.
Um, yeah, so when I taught in Thailand, I had a similar experience. I lived alone, and it was like a studio apartment. It was furnished. I had a bed, dresser, desk, bathroom. In Thailand, it's not super common to have like a full kitchen, so you're not gonna
Yeah.
have like a full like oven and like stovetop. You might have a hot plate and a microwave, but that's pretty much about it. But it's not as scary as you think.
Happy
It
house.
you can definitely live with that situation because there's so many options for food at the markets, like which are everywhere if you just walk around your neighborhood. So I found that that worked for me. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, I loved my little apartment. I miss it a lot.
yes, yes. It's nice to have just one space. I'm like, it can't get that like messy if I just have one area. I
Yeah.
honestly loved it.
No, it's so fun. And like if people do decide to go teach abroad with like a partner or a close friend, you can choose to live with that person.
Yes.
So that's something that you can do on the program, which is cool. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
me and my friends, we came together. Well, I applied first, and
Mhm.
then she applied a week later and was like, "I want to come to Thailand." And so we like both asked to be placed together, and so we got placed in the same apartment but in different rooms, like the same building, but our rooms were on the same floor.
Oh,
And it
cool.
was so nice because
Yeah.
we were roommates before, and so we could just like skip on over to each other's room
Oh, that's
whenever we wanted to go
so
giggle
fun.
together. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so fun.
Was it easy for you to like make friends apart from your like friends that you already knew? Or did you meet people at orientation?
Yeah, so I mean, the main friendships I had in the beginning were Elizabeth, who I came here
Hmm.
with, and then we had about, I think it was a group of around 10 teachers who were living within an hour of me
Hmm.
that all went through CIEE. So we had like four teachers, five teachers total in Callison, which is where I was from, and then
Hmm.
like 6 to 8 teachers in Conken, which is the big city an hour from me. And so all the Conken teachers invited all the Callison teachers like over for Christmas, and we had a Christmas party. So I had like instant 10 friends when I first got here from CIEE, which was
Hmm.
awesome.
That's
And
so
then
fun.
yeah, and then out of CIE, I like met because I taught an adult class in my hometown in Callison, and then I met like his friend and his wife and him and his family, and so I just have like two families that are kind of my Thai family
Oh,
now because they're just like families that I've become so close with, and I'm about to go see them tonight for dinner. But yeah, I've made like such close friends in my community
mhm.
here, and they're friends that are they're like a few years older than me and their parents, and we're in completely different like steps of our lives, but they really took me in and like showed me how great our small little town is, and I'll always
Oh,
be grateful to
that's
them.
amazing.
Yeah, and Anne commented on this Instagram. I don't know if she's still on this live, but Anne, I'm talking about you. I love you.
Oh, that's so great. Wait, how did you meet them again? The
So I got a connection to teach an adult class at one of the factories
Oh,
here,
right.
and so
Oh, okay.
teacher A, he was the other teacher, and so he like employed me to help him with English classes,
Hmm.
and then he invited me and Elizabeth for dinner, and that's when we met his wife and Anne, and then Anne's
Okay.
husband and their children. So I've
Hmm.
like babysat their kids and tutored their kids, and it's just been such a great experience, and they took me into their community and made me feel like
Oh,
family. So yeah.
that's really cool. That's amazing. So, is it hard to find like private tutoring from your school, or is it something that you just ask around? Um,
I
and it's pretty easy?
I feel like, well, because I mean, my school is so different from like my friends' experiences all over Thailand, so I
Hmm.
can't speak for everywhere. But I feel
Yeah.
like every single person who has wanted to private tutor has been able to so easily. And
Okay.
so, yeah, for me, I had like my second semester, I had parents who were messaging me, just asking me. So like I was getting asked, 3 or 4 times
Wow.
to tutor, and so I kind of had to pick, where to tutor and how much time I had. And then online tutoring, I prefer doing it in person tutoring
Mhm.
because online tutoring, they usually take quite a bit of like commission
Mhm.
from every class, which like I don't really agree with.
Yeah.
But online tutoring, I did Preply, where I got to teach a student in South Korea and then a student in
Oh,
Ukraine. And I loved that
that's cool.
experience. Even though, yeah, Preply's platform, they take a lot of commission, but I loved the people I got to tutor through that.
Hmm. That's great. So there is options to tutor on the side along with
Yeah.
your salary. That's good to know. I did the same thing. Mine was a little more informal. But it's pretty easy to find if you just make friends. If you make Thai friends, like,
Exactly.
and you tell them you're an English teacher, they'll be like, "Can you teach me English?" Like, And
No,
then it's,
everywhere. Yes.
yeah, they will literally just ask. And then I was like, can you teach me Thai? And then it's like
Yes.
it's really fun. And I didn't even want them to pay me. I was like, I just want this to be like a fun thing, but they paid me.
Yes.
um, so yeah, they're very generous. Um, and yeah, so another thing I wanted to ask you was, I know that you're placed in Callison.
Yes.
And a lot of people going on this program, their thoughts on Thailand are, I really want to be placed in Bangkok, or I really want to be placed, in the South. And I know just from being in Thailand that there's such amazing places in Thailand that you can go to that are like just,
Hmm.
the best. And I feel like people don't know about other places in Thailand. So I was just wondering if you could touch on like your hometown in Thailand and what you like about it, and how it
Yeah.
like, the difference. I mean, now that you've traveled around the country, I don't know if you have any thoughts on, maybe getting placed somewhere that you've never heard of, that's not Bangkok or that's not Phuket.
Yeah. No, yeah. So it was so funny because I went to Chiang Mai. I was in Chiang Mai before
Mhm.
this, and I was like reflecting on my year because I went to Chiang Mai my first weekend in
Mhm.
Thailand because I booked that flight to Chiang Mai my first weekend because I was so scared I was going to hate where I was placed.
Oh.
And so I was like, no matter what, I'm just gonna go to Chiang Mai and have a good time. Like I'll just be gone every weekend.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I was like, wow, I like regretted booking my first weekend
Oh.
away because I loved my town so much. And I was like everyone else, I was very nervous when I
Mhm.
saw that my placement wasn't in the south and it wasn't in Bangkok, it wasn't near Chiang Mai. It was like close to Laos, and that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And I looked online and I couldn't find anything
Yeah.
about it. So I thought it was going to be a village. Like honestly, like barely electricity in the school. Like I don't know. I just was very ignorant to what else was in Thailand and how like developed it was in the Northeast.
Mhm.
And now that I've been here for a year, I mean, there's no reason for me to be coming back today except to see the people that I want to see. And so like I'm ending my backpacking trip, in Callison for the next 4 days because it made that much of an impact on me. And I can't
Yeah.
wait for some of the food because Northeastern food is my favorite type of Thai food. The Thai food that I eat here is just
Mhm.
so much better than anywhere else.
Ah.
Um, so I've missed my home in Thailand here while traveling just as much as I've like missed my home back in Texas, honestly.
Oh. Yeah.
Um, and there's like the most beautiful temple in Thailand is 2 hours from here, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And the mountains are so close, and you can take a night bus or a bus anywhere if you're
Mhm.
creative with your travel plans. So
Yeah.
near Bangkok, because you're going to be in Bangkok, you're going to see Bangkok
Right.
anyway. So like how grateful am I that I got to like just drive 2 hours to go see amazing places in the Northeast that most tourists would have never even known about.
Yeah, it's amazing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I try to explain it to people. It's hard because I didn't get placed an area like that. So I'm really
Yeah.
happy like to talk to you about it. Do you have any like advice on what you would tell someone that got their school placement and was really nervous about the location?
Just that everywhere in Thailand is amazing. As in
Yeah.
like don't be nervous. I don't know,
Yeah,
like because
I
I was too,
know.
and I'm like I know I feel like there's nothing I can say where you're gonna believe me.
Hmm.
But if this helps, like in Thailand, like usually people can speak English in the touristy areas, but even in my town where it's like nobody can speak English except for like the few friends that I've made and the
Hmm.
teachers, like I'm not able to walk up to someone and ask them a question.
Hmm.
But in my small town, whenever I needed help, like I was, just like driving and I got a flat tire, within 2 minutes, someone pulled over and we're on Google Translate and they're like, okay, you get on the back of my bike and my friend is going to drive your bike to a motorbike shop, and
Yeah.
like we're gonna figure it all out.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone's really excited that you're here. And honestly, you kind of feel like a celebrity when you're a foreign teacher in a small
Yeah.
town because everyone wants a picture with you, everyone wants you to teach them English, like everyone wants to be your friend.
Yeah.
Thailand's so welcoming, especially in the local communities because they're not dealing with tourists every day. And so they're
Hmm.
just excited to have you here and a part of their community.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think you should be really excited that you got placed in a more unknown area, even
Yeah.
though that might not have been your first
Hmm.
choice.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Because I know it's so hard. Like, it's really hard because when you Google these places in Thailand, that nothing comes up. Like, people
No,
don't really
nothing.
visit those
Yeah.
places in Thailand. So yeah, it's really nice to have your perspective on that.
Yeah.
So I guess going back to being in your hometown and like just living there, do you have any comments on like what your biggest culture shock was, or like when you first like experienced culture shock? Culture shock.
Um, I think my biggest culture shock, the one that I had to work on for myself, because I think one of the people at orientation said this, and it always stuck with me, is like, Thailand is not going to adapt to you. You have to adapt to Thailand. And so I think my first moment of that was when I was just like, I was having a really frustrating time with my phone to get it to work in
Mhm.
Thailand. And when I get angry, when I get happy, when I get sad, I'm gonna get teary eyed.
Yeah.
Tears are gonna happen. Like, I'm just a crier. And so I was in a Bangkok mall, and like the tears are
Oh.
starting to come. It was my second day here, and people are just staring at me because you do not cry in public in Thailand.
You
I've
save
you don't
face.
Yeah, you save
Yeah.
face, and so it's like you don't express too much emotion
Hmm.
like in public, as like in America, we can like throw fits in Target and nobody bats
Hmm.
an eye.
Yeah.
That's not a thing in Thailand at all. And so me having to like control my tears just because I cry really easily,
Yeah.
that was probably the hardest for me, because I didn't want any of my Thai friends to think that I'm like actually upset. I'm like, no, I'm frustrated with myself, and I
Yeah.
have a hard time keeping my tears in, like, and so I had
Yeah.
to learn that, you know.
Hmm.
And then like my like, I guess, revert, like, not, it wasn't a shock, it was more of like, wow, this is so much better, was
Hmm.
just how kind everyone was. Like,
Yeah.
everyone, like, I come from the South, and so I have like that Southern hospitality mindset, and I
Hmm.
guess that's like the best I can relate to, like the Mai Pen Rai, like no worries Thai
Hmm.
mindset of just everyone's so kind, like
Yeah.
good karma, bad karma is like very big here. So like everyone's so helpful,
So
and
helpful.
that just and I feel like that I just wasn't used to that as much, because people are kind of in their own worlds, like getting to work or getting to their next destination on the street back
Hmm.
home. And so just like people being so willing to talk to me even when we have nothing in common, I just loved
Yeah.
that. And and then the food, I had never had Thai food before I
Hmm.
moved here,
What?
and I love Thai food. I love Thai food,
Oh
but
my
it took me
gosh.
a while to it took me a while to like get used to having like rice with my meals every day.
Yeah.
And I love cheese, and cheese isn't
Cheese
as
is
big.
like
So
not a
just like,
thing. Yeah.
it's like sweet cheese here
It's weird.
sometimes,
Yeah.
which I don't like. Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, so like getting used to the food, even though I'm definitely gonna have, I feel like, a hard time going back home and not having my favorite Thai food
Yeah.
now, but it was hard for me in the beginning.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, the Thai food is amazing. You're brave for going without ever trying Thai food.
I was like, I like most things. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Have you tried cow soy in Chiang Mai yet?
Oh my gosh, that's kind of why I went back to Chiang Mai. I wanted one of my
Really?
last meals to be khao soi. Yes, that's
Yeah.
one of my top three favorites for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That was my favorite.
Yes. Did
Um,
did you teach near Chiang Mai? Were you in the north or the south?
no, no, I was in Bangkok
Oh,
actually.
oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
We
and
had a
I
very
didn't
different
want to be there.
experience.
Very different. Yeah, I
Mm,
didn't want to be placed in Bangkok. I would have rather been placed in like a smaller community. So I had to adjust to that.
yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like opposite.
Mhm.
But it was great because I found my community in Bangkok,
Exactly.
like in my little neighborhood. And people are the same. They were the same. Like I had, the lady that worked at the grocery shop next door that would help me get my soap and my like whatever I needed, my broom or
Yes.
I don't know, when I would buy all the little things. And I had a similar experience with culture shock where my room was just infested with mosquitoes and it
Oh,
was like midnight and I was like so sad. And I walked to 7-Eleven. I was just crying. I was trying to figure out how to get bug spray and I just didn't want to like cry in front of people. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, next question. Do you have any like embarrassing moments so
Okay. I
far?
was thinking I was thinking about these. Okay, so I'll tell you like my teaching ones.
Okay.
Honestly, most of my embarrassing moments have come from dating abroad this year. So you guys don't get those
Yeah.
stories for free. So,
Oh,
but
yes.
my embarrassing moments while teaching was like when I was trying to learn the language. So in Thai, whenever you want to say I don't understand, you say mai khao jai. And then
Mhm.
if you're asking, do you understand, you say khao jai mai. And I kept
Mhm.
on saying, like, I was trying to ask them, like, oh, do you understand? But instead, I kept on saying, I don't understand. So I'd just be in front of the class going, my kajai, I don't understand. And so that was really embarrassing because it took me like 10 minutes to figure out why my students couldn't understand what was
Oh.
going on. And
Were
then,
the Thai teachers in your classroom, or was it?
so,
Are they ever?
so like, they are, but they're usually kind of like doing their own stuff, and I just like ask them if I need help
Yeah.
more. And it was like in the beginning, so I think she was like too nervous to correct me
Yeah.
at that point. I had the best co-teachers. I can't wait to see them. I'm like gonna go see my kids like right after this, and see all the teachers again. I can't, but yeah,
Oh.
I think they were like just kind of letting me figure it out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
and
funny.
then I always had to like my foreign teacher coordinator. She was also one of my really close
Mhm.
friends. But it was always so embarrassing when I like got locked out and I had to call her to
Yeah.
go call my landlord, or I got on the wrong bus and I didn't realize until I was like an hour out going the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so I'd like call her to talk to the bus driver. So it just jogged in. I love
Yes.
her. She's had to save me so many
Oh,
times.
that's really nice of
But
her.
it's always embarrassing when I'm like, hey, help me. I don't know what to do. Like,
Yes. Yeah, I remember one time I took all my laundry to a laundromat near my house and I walked it very far and I realized I couldn't bring anything back. And my one of my co-teachers happened to be there, one of the Thai teachers, and she like drove me home on her motorbike and she
oh,
was
nice.
very, very kind.
Mhm.
Well, we only have 2 minutes left, so I want to ask as a closing, what are you, so two things, I guess. What are you most looking forward to in this next year? And do you have any final advice to give someone who's maybe thinking about doing the program and kind of on the fence?
Okay, so my plans for next year that I'm most excited about, I'm going back to Texas December 13th, to see all, I'm excited to see my dog, my friends, my
Oh,
family. I'm not certified teaching in Texas yet. I only have my TEFL certification because I decided to be a teacher later in life.
mhm.
So I'm excited because I'm going to be in Texas for about a year and a half teaching to get my certification. And then once I get my Texas certification, I'm either going to be back in Thailand, maybe teach in Spain, or maybe Australia. So I'm just
Ooh.
kind of spending the next year working on what I need to come back out, because I guess that kind of goes into my advice
Mhm.
to people who are on the fence. I honestly, I don't know if this like sounds rude or to the point, but I feel like there's no excuse to not do this. Like this, I mean, I've traveled when I was younger, so I always knew I wanted to do this,
Mhm.
but it's changed me as a person, just starting over, going somewhere completely new. And yes, like if you want to travel and see the world, you can do the whole backpacking thing
Mhm.
where you're living in a hostel from hostel to hostel for a year. But I don't feel like I would have gotten the same experience if I did that. I think having a job and building a life here made this experience so much more fruitful, and I gained so much more because of that. And so, like, I just think that this is the best opportunity if you're looking to change your life, change up what you want to do next, and get some, experience living abroad and teaching abroad.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. I agree. Thank you for sharing that. I really am so glad that we got to talk today. You're frozen. Oh no, you're not frozen anymore.
I guess.
But oh my gosh, have so much fun visiting your
Thanks.
students. They're gonna be so excited to see you.
Yes, I'll be
And,
posting some stuff on the Instagram later, I'm sure, about
okay,
about
perfect.
everything, so you guys can see. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Maddie, and then hopefully we'll chat soon. But we're looking forward
Yes.
to seeing your posts.
All right, sounds good.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.